Hey guys, and welcome back to some more Factorio sending supporters to space. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. We're gonna do some good stuff in this episode. So first things first, I streamed earlier today, and in that stream I found some coal, and I uploaded the stream VOD to YouTube because I figured some of you might want to watch it, and I might as well just upload it. So it is up on the channel if you do want to check it out. It was about 2.5 hours or so of me searching for coal and stuff like that. But we did find coal. Wow, thanks research. Did find coal out here. There's some stone as well, which we don't need at all right now, but there is 4.8 and 1.1, so just about 6 million coal right here, and it's not that far from the base. I need to clear out a few bases. I cleared out some around it. It was pretty much, they were right on top of it. Didn't want to give it up, but yeah, so we're going to do that maybe next episode, depending how far we get in this one. Because what I want to do in this one is start uranium mining. I did research nuclear on the stream, and I mean, there wasn't really much, you know, to miss there. I just researched it. I haven't built anything yet. Just a few other quick things to touch on. I have switched this over to solid fuel for the trains because the trains should be on solid fuel anyway, since they will be faster and such. And someone suggested, why don't I just split this off? Initially, I don't know why I didn't just split it off. I guess because I'm just dumb. I don't know. So once this gets used up, I don't feel like purging this because my inventory's full of crap anyway. But once it does, this guy's sitting here because this is full. We're not using stuff fast enough, which is fine. I mean, we're backed up on petroleum. That's a pretty good problem to have. And I set up some battery production on stream. Not anything too exciting. I just did 2 of these to 1 of these. A perfect ratio, for anyone who doesn't know, perfect ratio is 5 sulfur machines to 2 sulfuric acid machines, because it's actually a 2.5 to 1 ratio. But for this purpose, I'm just doing 2 to 1. It's a lot easier to build, and I don't need like a ton of this. So what I've done is I've just created a few batteries for miscellaneous things. Once we actually start high-tech packs, which do require the whatchamadoobies, the batteries. I don't even know how we unlock high-tech packs, but oh, they're already unlocked. So we'll set up a main build like on the bus for batteries then, and then pipe over or something this. But what we're going to do today is we're going to start uranium mining, and this is why I needed sulfuric acid, because we need that for the uranium. We can't mine uranium without sulfuric acid. So, and I technically have the ability to start processing it, which I should do with these centrifuges, but I do need concrete for that. So we should set up some concrete production as well. And there's a few things I want to mention in regards to, well, first off, we have like no steel because this ran out of iron for the steel. So we're pretty backed up, but just in case, I'm going to switch a few of these around. I'm just going to take like these ones and just switch them this way and tie it in. So there's that. I'm trying to think any other recaps. On stream, I just threw a 3 to 4 belt balancer type thing here. So what this does is this just balances these 3 and outputs 4 essentially, because I added the last smelter, which you already knew I was going to do off screen. I haven't connected it in yet. And I reworked our iron lines to actually go correctly where they needed to in the bus. Again, I'd mentioned I'd do that off screen. Nothing big to miss there. And that's really about it. So you may notice, well, if you were very observant, you may have noticed we have 2 of everything in terms of nuclear. We have 2 reactors, we have 2 turbines, we have 2 heat exchangers, and we have 2 heat pipes. Why is this? I'm using a mod. Now, before you freak out, let me explain my reasoning, and while I do that, I'm going to try to actually get something done and hopefully not completely mess it up because I'm blabbing in the midst of it. So here's the deal. Nuclear is really cool. I like it. I think it's really cool. However, in terms of like late game, like megabase scale power, it's still very, very insufficient compared to solar. Solar is still far superior in terms of megabase scale to nuclear, simply because of UPS. Just for anyone who isn't quite sure why, how solar works in terms of game performance is it essentially groups everything into one. So even if you have 500,000 solar panels on your map and 500,000 accumulators, it counts it as one thing, essentially. Is they made this change quite a while ago, like before 14, I think maybe before 13. I don't remember exactly when. It's quite a while ago. So essentially solar is just, it just pretty much doesn't even exist as far as game performance is concerned. And just for future reference, when I say UPS, I mean updates per second. We have FPS, which we pretty much all know what that is, frames per second. UPS is updates per second, and that's essentially, how well your game's performing non-graphically, I guess, be a good way to put it, because that's FPS. So that's why solar is so good, right? I mean, and obviously because it's like a one-time cost, place and forget type of thing, but also for megabases, it's really good because it has like no performance costs at all. Nuclear, however, because of the entities, like just the turbines and the pipes. The pipes are the main one because like every heat exchanger counts as like 2 pipes because it's bringing in water and then outputting steam, and then all the actual pipes you need and stuff like that. On a scale of a base where you need, say, like 10 gigawatts, which is probably around what we'll need for this, you will lose, Can and several other guys calculated out, you will lose like 7 or 8 UPS just from your nuclear setup to power that, which I think is just ridiculous. In terms of game performance, they can't really do anything about it, but what annoys me is it's like they spent so much time on nuclear, right? And it's a very cool thing. I really like it. They spent so much time on it, so much time on the graphics, and it's still just like worthless late game, like late, like megabase stage because of the performance. And I don't think it should. I think it should outperform solar. Like, I figured when they were making it, that was the whole point, to make it better than solar. But it's just not. So what I've done, and I'm waiting to do this because I want to explain this to you, just really quick, last part of the explanation rant. What I've done is Hopewell, big thanks to Hopewell, he's made me a mod that essentially is just a buffed version of nuclear, and I don't think it's like cheaty or overpowered because everything is still equivalent to each other. So we have our normal reactors. It hasn't changed the base game stuff at all, okay? I asked him to do that on purpose, not change base game stuff. So we still have the normal ones. But then these advanced ones, they cost the same thing, they're exactly the same recipe, but everything is 4 times. Okay, so this thing, you can see energy consumption 40 megawatts, energy consumption 160 megawatts. Turbine for the normal one is 5.8 megawatts. For the modded one is 22 megawatts. The heat pipes and heat exchangers are also equivalent in that manner, essentially meaning that I can get 4 times the power out of the same sized setup as I could with a vanilla build. And the reason I did this was just simply for performance, because I want to power, the Gigabase we're going to be building off of nuclear, and I just couldn't reasonably do that with the vanilla setup. So he's made it so essentially, with a setup in vanilla that would have generated 1 gigawatt, I can now generate 4 gigawatts from the same size setup in the same amount of entities and pipes and performance. And I don't think it's cheaty because since the reactors are also 4 times, they do consume 4 times the fuel, so they consume fuel 4 times faster. So it is going to require more resources, just not to build, which I think is fine, because I think nuclear should have been this powerful to begin with. To be completely honest with you, I think it should have been, because then it would have actually been better than solar. Anyway, done with the rant, onto the uranium. So you take a drill, and when it goes over uranium, it changes to this awesome graphic, which is truly one of my favorite graphics of 0.15. So you do this, and it has these blue inputs and then the yellow normal outputs like this. So the blue inputs are where you input the sulfuric acid. And I think this is a really cool thing they implemented, that you actually need sulfuric acid to mine this, because it is pretty realistic too. That's just barely gonna miss it, isn't it? Oh dear. Okay, well, so we still need our belt outputs here. And speaking of which, I have like no belt. We still need our belt outputs here. And then the sulfuric acid, what's really cool about these guys is these will pass through each other. So you see how these blue arrows are, I'm putting them adjacent. If I hook up the sulfuric acid, just right here, it will pass through all of these. So I don't need to hook into each one. Now, of course, I need to hook into this one, but it's a lot cleaner than trying to like hook into each one individually. And clearly I've forgotten a pipe somewhere. Yep. Too busy ranting. So sorry about that rant, but I felt it was good to explain, and you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I mean, do you think it's cheaty? Should I get rid of it? If the overwhelming consensus is that I should get rid of it, I will. Which would be a shame because Hope will put work into it, and I think it's completely fine. But I would like to hear your thoughts because honestly, I truly do feel like nuclear should be able to compete with solar, and currently in a megabase stage, it just doesn't. I mean, there's no argument in terms of like. I guess late game isn't the right word because late game can be very different for people. On a megabase scale, nuclear just does not compete with solar simply because on a megabase scale, you need as much game performance as you can get for other things like actual production. And when you compare something that takes pretty much no game performance and something that takes like 8 of your UPS, it's clear that solar is just better, which I think is absurd. But anyway, there's that. So we're going to mine this. Again, I don't have concrete yet, so we can't do much with it because we need a centrifuge. But the concrete only requires 100 concrete. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to leave that. And we're going to set up some concrete because I need to go get belts anyway. And the concrete is pretty straightforward. We just need stone brick, iron ore, and water. And I happen to have a bajillion iron ore on me anyway. So we'll just use that, because it only takes 1 and you get 10 concrete per, so this however much hundreds of iron ore I have on me will last quite a while. And in fact, how many brick do we need? Just need 5 brick. Really, I think I'm just gonna we need a full concrete build here at some point, but for now, I'm gonna go set this up by water, because we don't really have, I mean, we have water up here, I suppose, but I'm just gonna go set up some concrete over there by the uranium. And I'm just running over to get some belts. Good time to point out the iron. So what I did is you probably can't even tell the difference, really. I just moved them so that they're actually where the bus should be. We don't have a 4th one yet. I've rearranged some splits a little bit. Again, they're not fully correct splits. I will do actual correct, like, 4-to-1 splits once we get 4 lines. I just don't have the other one tied in quite yet. So there's that. We do definitely need... we definitely need an iron outpost, which shouldn't be too difficult because there's these iron outposts. I mean, there's iron here, there's iron here. This one is actually super easy to get to. It's just zip, just straight down through that biter base and we're good to go. But yeah, so next episode probably it will be by the time we get all this set up. We need to go get that coal. We may be able to start prepping for it this episode. We'll see. And you guys gave some really good feedback on the last episode 14, I think it is. That went out this morning where I asked for feedback on what you want to see in regards to building rails. And it seems like the very overwhelming opinion is that you guys want to see it. So that's fine. That's great. I'll record building the rail out there. I'll record setting up the outpost. I'll record most rail building because most people said they wanted to see almost all the rail building. I won't show all outposting because, you know, people said they didn't want to see all of it. They just wanted to see a bit of it. So that's fine. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take him, going to make concrete, going to stick a box here, here, and here. Brick, or that pump somewhere, pump, thank you. Pump and pipe, so you're going to go in there, you're going to go here, going to power him on. And we need to power these two, which I failed to do because I'm an idiot. Substations. At one point I said we didn't need them. Actually, I think we do need them. That would be helpful. So he's going to do that. That's fine. It's slow, but, you know, whatever. It'll be done soon. So you go there. This guy's going to have to come out to here. Boom, boom. Like so. These are not... There's no way I'm going to power all these. Well, actually, I could. It's going to be a little wonky. So he's going to go there. And... Pipette tool. Sweet. Okay, so... There. Here. Darn it. Okay, we're going to have to do the same little trick. Where are my damn power poles? Okay, here. not lined up. It's fine. No one will notice. Okay. So we're mining uranium, which apparently takes forever. So yeah, this takes, and you can see when you mouse over miner, well, apparently not when you mouse over miner. When you mouse over uranium, let me just pull one up. You can see here it says 10 sulfuric acid per 10 ore. So essentially it takes 1 sulfuric acid to mine 1 ore, which is fine. Yeah, so we can see the temperature of the fluid. Temperature doesn't matter, but there we go. So mining this, it glows in the dark, which is freaking awesome. And we need 60 concrete. Great. Okay, well, what else do we need for a centrifuge? We need 100 circuits. That should be easy enough. I'm gonna get several of these because we need to start processing it so we can start getting our good U235, since it takes forever to get that. And then also the other stuff, if we researched it, which we probably can't because it takes a lot of stuff. Yeah, it takes high tech, so never mind. I was gonna say we could get uranium ammo, but we're definitely not quite there yet. So yeah, we're going to get circuits. That should be pretty easy. I'm gonna need to make another box to dump crap in, like my heavy armor and random cables and other stuff. But I just ran past it. Of course I did. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab some of these. I would like 2 centrifuges if possible. It's gonna take a while to get concrete, but that's fine. Steel, I do have enough steel. Gears are gonna take forever to make, so let's go get some gears. Sweet, we do have substations now. Very good. What else do we want to get? Exoskeleton equipment. Can't get a Roadport Mark II yet. Exoskeletons are pretty cheap, actually. In fact, what do we need? We need blue circuits. We don't have those yet. Those should be after we get the coal, because the coal is very high priority. We only have 53,000 left, which it really is not much at all. Once we get the coal set up, next highest priority is going to be blue circuits. Definitely need blue circuits, and I mean they're pretty easy to set up. They're not like, it's not like a difficult thing or anything. I just haven't gotten to it yet. They're really quite straightforward, mostly, except for getting the circuits to them, because those things gobble through circuits like nothing flat. So iron's still okay. It's pretty much backed up at this point. Better than it being empty. Steam, on the other hand, I have not paid attention to power in a long time. Surprisingly still okay. How much do these take? 350 kilowatts. Okay, not bad. Thank you. Let's make one of these. These things look cool. These are like also one of my favorite graphics in 0.15. Absolutely fantastic, I think. So let's move this power pole that I've put. Actually, isn't even needed. Not really sure what I was doing. So we're just gonna wrap this around here. It's gonna be a nice little processing area. I'm not gonna put anything else here anyway, because steam's gonna go to the left until we can get nuclear. I'm not building any solar. I refuse. I absolutely refuse to build solar because it's boring. I've done enough of it in my Factorio days, and I want to use nuclear. Hence the mod. So we're gonna do that. He's gonna process it, and what we're gonna do is we could put it all in the same chest, except that may end up potentially bad. So what this does is this processing gives us from 10 uranium ore, 99% chance to get the U238, which is the bad, well, quote unquote bad, this is what you make ammo and stuff out of, but bad for the fuel cells, and then a 0.7% chance for the U235. Essentially, as I mentioned previously, Zuri, and I'm sure many others, but Zuri is who I heard it from first, calculated, and also Can, actually, both of them calculated out, and you need about 60,000 ore processed. So essentially you need to send 60,000 ore through this process before you get the 40 U235, the good stuff, you need to start the Covarex process here. Now you can start nuclear before you get the 40, of course. You know, a fuel cell just takes 235, and you get 10 fuel cells. The problem is that it's so rare if you like use the 10 fuel cells and that's your power source and you haven't gotten another U235, you're kind of screwed. So I personally think it's best to start the Coverex process before you even set up your nuclear, because then you're just gonna have like infinite, infinite 235. Can you productivity module this? I know you can't productivity module the Coverex thing. I don't remember if you can do this or not. Well, let's find out. Let's experiment. I only made one of these. Come on. So he's gonna output. He's only gonna grab this stuff. Gonna need like a steel chest for that. Might as well do a steel chest for both, just so they match. Pretty sure you can productivity this. You can. That would be highly suggested. It slows it down, but you do, productivity, you do get the full progress bar from it when it does reach, so kind of helps with your chances, I think, or at least helps in terms of your chances compared to the amount of ore you need to process. So we're gonna do that. You're gonna output the other stuff once we end up ever getting any. And he's just gonna rock and roll like that. This guy will do the same exact thing. If I had circuits, I could actually make productivity modules quite quickly. So you're gonna grab from there and power pull here. Unless this would this line up? It would. Perfect. And then you go like that and that. Shift right click copy. Shift left click paste. Copy paste. And there we go. So these guys are gonna run. And I'm gonna go get some circuits because I do actually want to fill these with, even though the productivity ones, I mean, stick 2 in there, that's 8% productivity. What would that be? 80 to 12, like by like 13 processes, you get a free one. May not seem like much, but it adds up. So let's go grab some circuits. In terms of our rail line for coal, I'm not entirely sure how I want to bring it in because it's up here, obviously, but I suppose we could come around top because the coal needs to be, actually it'd probably be better to come around bottom and tie in somewhere over here, I suppose, because it needs to be in this general area since this is where all our load stuff is, and then it goes to the steam. We could come in from up top. Yeah, actually we could come in. Well, no, because that's iron, you'd have to reverse the belts. It really would be better just to come in from the bottom, I think. So circuits, and what else do we need for these? Advanced circuits, might as well grab some of those. So we need 1, 2, 3. 1 for the other, and then 2 for the one we haven't put any in yet. Research. Can knock out some of these shotgun things. I'm not sure I'll ever use them, but they're just red and green. Better knock them out anyway. And yeah, so how far are we on this episode? We're 23 minutes in. I think this is a good point to end, actually. Got done pretty much what I wanted to. Next episode, I'll have the rails and everything prepared before we start episode, and then right off we will head out and go grab this coal and clear some bases on the way. We'll have to hop in the tank again, but that should be fun. We don't have to clear much, just some of these guys kind of in the way. And by the end of next episode, I hope to have some coal. May have to expand power to support the extra miners and stuff. We'll see. Anyway, though, guys, I think that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like. I'd love to hear any thoughts you have down in the comments. Again, specifically about this mod. Hopefully not too many of you are against it. I think it's personally fine, but I would like to hear what you think. Anyway, until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.